As Hampton Court Palace gets ready to celebrate its 500th birthday, Londonist Matt Brown got the chance to see some of the hidden spaces, details and amazing views that the public don't normally get to see. Christian Lax, a state apartment warder and palace veteran, was our guide for the day.
Brought you into an area, as I say, that the public don't normally get to see. So this cellar, this was actually dug out in the 1730s, so it's more Georgian in origin. And in fact, if you come back this way, you'll see on the right here, you can make out what is a doorway, what would have been an archway, an open doorway basically. You would have been able to pass through here, go into another area of the wine cellar, and eventually come up some stairs, and you come out into an area of the palace near the silver stick stairs.
And that staircase has a bit of ghostly history to it.
These are the silver stick stairs, and they're quite, they're infamous really, because actually this area is said to be haunted by the spirit of Jane Seymour, obviously one of Henry's wives. Supposedly her spirit comes out of her old apartments, glides down this gallery, this corridor, and comes down these stairs dressed in a white flowing shift and holding an unflickering candle. She moves out into Clock Court, where she then disappears.
Through that courtyard and to another place normally off limits, the Queen's private apartment.
The room that we are now in is known as Apartment 33, and we often use it for training and meetings and things like that today. But during the Tudor period, this would have been part of the Queen's apartments. It was originally used by Queen Catherine, Henry VIII's first wife, but also you had Jane Seymour using rooms here. And in fact, Jane Seymour gave birth, Henry's third wife, gave birth to his young son, Edward, here in this set of rooms and in this room, the one that we are now in.
Next stop, the Minstrels Gallery, where you have to put the key in upside down to open the door.
Okay, so the Minstrels Gallery was built during the time that the Great Hall was constructed, and it was built for Henry VIII. You would have obviously had musicians, minstrels playing. And for Henry, that was kind of harking back to a medieval time, an age of great chivalry. That's how he wanted to be perceived. Because this is a little bit anachronistic, really, because it's more like the great halls of the medieval times, with the sort of baronial sort of manner, and that's kind of where it's taken its inspiration from.
And then the part which we'd been looking forward to the most, going up onto the roof via the stairs.
Oh yes, the good old stairs. Now, something to look out for, actually, when you come up these stairs, Matt, actually, I'm sure you've heard about the fire that was here at Hampton Court Palace in 1986. When you go up these stairs, pay particular attention as you near the top. You'll see the original fire damage dating back from that period, from 1986. And I'll just
a few steps later, and the view that we had come for.
I suppose, really, coming up onto the roof, the thing that you immediately realise is it gives you a sense of a proper context for the palace, because first of all, I mean, you can see looking around you now the likes of Surbiton and obviously Kingston and various other places, but if you imagine at the time when the palace was built, this really would have been rural countryside. Those places, would have been small villages, so the palace would have stood out even more. So when you look around you and you see some of the larger buildings, and for instance places like Sandown Racecourse and other places like that, it perhaps doesn't stand out as much, but going back to Tudor period, this would have been seen from miles around. This was the place, and you can imagine particularly Henry and his court coming along the Thames, and then they would have accessed the palace from this side, because of course it was a lot easier to travel along the river compared to coming by road, which could be quite rough and ready and more uncomfortable.
There's a whole programme of special events taking place at the palace for their 500th birthday throughout the year. Full details are on their website.